Minorities are being persecuted. Cultural heritage is under attack. Illegal trafficking of cultural property, in all likelihood, is being used to finance terrorism. These attacks are part of a premeditated strategy of cultural cleansing that has been highly violent.
There is something about the agony of cultural cleansing that brings it close to the agony of starvation. To starve a people to death is to reduce them to a blind physical drive that can no longer respect the boundary between human life and animalistic existence. And the aim of cultural cleansing is to degrade the diverse cultural heritage of others in order to banish the oppressed into a state of barbarism outside human history altogether.
It is now, more than ever, time to act.
The current situation in both Syria and Iraq is the unfortunate consequence of the deliberate exclusion of sectors of the population from participation in decision-making process.
Iraq, ancient Mesopotamia, a name which is part of the birth of civilizations. As you know, these civilizations go back more than 6,000 years. These ferocious attacks by extremist and terrorist groups in Iraq that wish to destroy all culture, all civilization, all science and knowledge, that wish to destroy the unity of religions and Iraqi society by destroying their culture. This is a danger not only for Iraq, but for all of humankind. This is why we have a shared responsibility to protect this culture, because it is the culture and civilization of humankind. We have an urgent need of support to fight against trafficking. We will work together in order to make Iraq come back to life and to protect its heritage.
There can be no purely military solution to this crisis. To fight against fanaticism, we must also reinforce education that contributes to defending ourselves against hatred and protect the heritage, which contributes to fostering a collective identity.
If it is true that there is no military solution, if it is true that there is only a political solution, and if it is true that we all say, and I hope we mean it, that the solution, being political, must be Syrian-led, and Syrian-led means by themselves, then why can't we help them?
We, the United Nations, need to stand with the people and the government of Iraq, with the people of Syria, with all countries in the region, to challenge the very caveats of the philosophy of terror and violence that ISIL represents.
We here at UNESCO urge all actors to integrate the protection of heritage and cultural diversity into humanitarian operations and peace-building efforts.
So why not a plan of action? And the plan of action means starting bottom-up. And how? Forgetting who is right, who is wrong for a moment, because everybody has an argument, but using the argument about let's do all what we can, wherever we can do it to reduce violence. And when we mean violence, it's violence on people, between people, and on buildings.
We must create protected cultural zones around heritage sites through stronger engagement with local actors. I believe that the Umayyad Mosque, located within the World Heritage Site of the old city of Aleppo, could and should be our starting point. It is not too late to take action.
Why Aleppo? Because Aleppo is Aleppo. It's a fantastic town. Every time you remove a stone, you discover a mosaic. The entire culture of the Mediterranean is concentrated there.
There will be a time when peace returns to the regions And when that moment arrives, it would be tragic to find that most of these nations' cultural heritage has been lost. Our role as one of the great guardians of ancient civilization is also upheld beyond our galleries through our global collaborative leadership to preserve artifacts in situ. We support the direct conservation of objects and the training of conservation specialists internationally. We bring together colleagues from around the world to share best practices, and we join forces with a network of allies like UNESCO and ICOM to maintain the archival record of monuments that have been destroyed or come under threat. Our expertise, our drive to protect humanity's great works, and our commitment to the enlightenment of all counteract those who would throw the world into a darkness to further their cause.
We need more comprehensive and effective import controls for cultural objects that were unlawfully removed from their original context, because we need to dry out the market for illegal antiquities.
I have called for consideration by the United Nations Security Council of an international ban on trade in Syrian cultural objects. I urge Iraq and Syria to become parties to the 1954 Convention on the Protection of Cultural Heritage during conflict to enhance the legal protection of their heritage.
The protection of cultural heritage is a political and security imperative. It should be a central component of peace building and conflict resolution efforts and of humanitarian and development policies.